Welcome everybody to another episode of the COD Casuals podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Justin.
And episode 10, boom.
Double digits.
Unbelievable. The confetti shoots off, right? The fireworks go off.
We didn't give up.
No, we did not give up. This is a huge milestone for us. When we get to episode 20 and 100, we're going to be laughing at this. But
yeah, 10 weeks in a row. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. I think about that, man.
More than a lot of other people.
Yeah, RIP to those people. But yeah, like you've done it before, and I have too. We go through on Spotify or the podcast app, and you see a lot of channels that may have had a lot of potential or a lot of podcasts, and they just unfortunately don't keep it going. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people just push really hard at first, and then they crash and burn pretty badly because I don't think people realize how hard this actually is. Yeah. I mean, us talking like that's not hard, but the actual like process of recording, taking the time to upload, script everything, and then like, you know, posting on YouTube, creating a thumbnail, all that.
Everything that goes into it, like this is the fun part. This is the part we look forward to.
This is the easiest part.
This is the easiest part. The hardest part is actually getting it out there for all you people to listen to.
All the back end.
Yeah. So we appreciate everybody who's been listening to the episodes.
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough.
Shout out to the UK person.
Again, you know, if you're checking it out, we're going to keep shouting you out, brother or sister, whoever you are. It's great to have, you know, just, I don't even care if it's like one person or a couple people, whoever it is, actually tuning in.
Just people listening. It's cool.
Yeah. It's super cool because we just get to talk about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, Call of Duty has been insane the past week.
Yeah. It's been crazy.
Oh, there's too much going on.
Yeah. Well, we can start off by saying, so this is part 3 of our CDL series. So we're going to introduce the last 4 teams. Mm-hmm. A lot of big teams.
Yep.
But maybe we could talk about like the season 3 update that's coming.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but
I don't really know much either. We just got word of this. So this is it's Monday the 19th. So we just got this today. The news about this.
Yeah. I think it comes out Wednesday.
Yeah. So they're adding in like the big news is that they're adding in standoff.
Yeah.
Which
BO2 map.
Mm-hmm. Which everybody, you know, bows to the altar of Black Ops 2 and the maps in it. So people are hyped that map's going to be in it.
Think about that. Like, this game has Raid, Express, Standoff, Nuketown. Is there another Black Ops 2 map?
That's a good. I don't know if it does.
I feel like
I think that's it.
The amount of BO2 maps coming into this game are like just as many as the game released.
Yeah,
well, that definitely less, but at least a good map.
Yeah, no, and that's what's really sad too is like the maps that are coming in, like the BO2 maps. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that most people want to play.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. When you're in pubs, like everyone votes for Raid or Express.
Yeah, exactly.
Over, like, the other ones.
You know, and for good reason too. Those maps they're legendary.
Good maps.
You know, there's definitely that argument that they should just recycle a lot of these maps and revamp them for.
I mean, I would rather them recycle Express or Raid than Nuketown.
Yeah.
Nuketown's in every game. I mean, like, Nuketown's fun to, like, there's a limit for me at least.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's such a small map.
Yeah. Nuketown 100% is just, like, a gimmick map for me. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, every COD's just, they got to throw Nuketown.
Yeah. Since BO1, Nuketown.
Yeah.
It's been in every game.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's the main thing in the update that the pros are talking about, because this may be a map that will enter into the CDL, enter into the map rotation. Yep. And then there's also a new gun, the PPSH, a fan favorite from some of the old CODs.
Yeah.
I never used it really in World War II. Mm-hmm. Or at least I can't remember if I did. I just remember it from World at War.
You probably did. I mean, the PPSH in World War II was like the meta. That was the main sub that everyone used.
Yeah. So I might have. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that gun's coming, and then like other than that, I don't really know like anything else that's really noteworthy to talk about in that update.
They're adding. I mean, I think they updated the map for Warzone today. Okay. I don't know. We don't really play Warzone, so I don't know much about the actual update. They're adding sticks and stones.
Yeah. No, we did talk about that. No, that is great. I mean, that's what I remember from
BO2. Oh, BO1.
Yeah, it was Black Ops 1 when they did
the wagers.
Wager matches. Yeah. And you used to have goddamn cash in the game.
Yeah.
You'd have the real COD points.
Yeah. I mean, now you have cash, but it's money that you have to use to spend to buy stuff.
Right. So it was really cool.
That'd be cool if you. Well, that would become like a betting problem and a legal thing.
Yeah.
Imagine like putting $20 down.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna bet like 2,500 COD points.
Go into
right
a big problem at that point.
That'd be so fun though.
Yeah, it would be.
That'd be cool.
So they have so they got the 6v6 for standoff. Then they've got another map which it looks like it's Yamantau.
Is it like another 6v6 or
yep,
is it just?
That's another 6v6 map. Then they have a new. It says 6v6 and 2v2 map called Diesel. It's called Diesel.
Face off.
Yeah, it looks like a face off map. And then there's like this one. It's kind of hard to see. It's like Duga, multi-team.
Oh, that's probably like fire.
Yeah, fire team or whatever it is.
Yeah.
New score streak, being strafe run. We pray that it's not going to be OP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a cool update. They got some cars and like a truck. Like,
so yeah,
I care about that.
New operator, whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
And new prestige icons. I can't really see these too well. Looks like Jason is the next prestige logo. Like that's what it looks like. Yeah, I don't know. Looks okay. Captain Price is a new operator. Yeah, people are gonna be shelling out money to him.
We'll be playing regardless.
Oh yeah, we'll keep playing. But yeah, that's been going on, so that's a new thing that's happening. And then just obviously still drama in the CDL with people shifting around,
team shifting.
And if we want to start right now, one of the teams that happened that this happened to recently is our first team that we haven't talked about, Florida Mutineers, which this team that we're going to name, they haven't actually played all together yet in the CDL.
We
haven't seen it.
We haven't seen them play.
Yeah. Do you want to start it off then? We'll talk with the first guy.
Yeah. So Colt Havoc. What is that?
McClendon.
Havoc. I didn't know that his last name.
Yeah, right.
Havoc. He was on the bench at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
I don't know if it's true. If like he benched himself because he wanted to stream. That's what a lot of people have been saying. But I mean, if that was the case, that just means like he didn't want to play professionally. He wanted to focus on streaming.
Yep.
But he replaced Slacked Josiah. And I mean, I don't know how I feel about that move, to be honest, because I think Slacked is he's crazy. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
And if Havoc like benched himself because he wanted to stream, in my opinion, I would think like he just didn't want to play.
Yeah. I don't know what the background is on that. I mean, Florida definitely had some inconsistency, which I mean, a lot of these teams, that's what they're facing.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a very small room for error.
Yeah, they're so hot and then they're so cold. Like Florida was looking great, and then they came into this Major 2 that wrapped up last week, and they won their first game right, and then their second game they got destroyed.
Yep, against Seattle.
Yeah, which obviously prompted this change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and we got to mention too.
Yeah.
The Florida Mutineers low key had told everyone the news on Twitter right after Ultra won.
Yeah,
that was weird.
That was super sus.
Yeah, like they kind of like slipped that under the radar.
Yeah, exactly. Like they just Toronto just won and everyone's going crazy, like oh my god, and then Slacked or Josiah just tweets out like I got benched. You know, like
that was weird.
Everyone's like what?
Yeah.
Thinking that they weren't going to see it, but we did.
Tack Rab is there.
Tack Rab was on it.
We're there.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to mention too, with Slacked being benched, I wonder if the reason why they started Havoc was because they didn't have like enough money to pick up another player or something.
Could have been.
Or maybe it's just because Havoc like actually wanted to come back.
Yeah, who knows?
But that's just me speculating.
That could be. Yeah, I mean, and Havoc's been a pro for a while. He played on Gen G back in the CWL.
BO4.
Yeah. Nice team.
Very good. Super fast.
Yeah.
One of the fastest shot punchers.
Yeah. And, play with Cloud9, Envy. I mean, he has a solid resume. And, he played during the MW season, which is the first year of the CDL with Florida. And then after that, was replaced, and now he's back. So it'll be interesting to see how the team does with him. But But the next guy that they have has been their one of the golden childs. As Cesar Sky's Bueno.
Invest in your game.
Yeah, invest in your game. If you ever watch the CDL, like we're joking about that, they have a commercial that he did, and that's literally how it goes, and they just play it over and over.
With all the other commercials.
All the other commercials, yeah. It's like you can almost recite them at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skies, I mean, it's... Again, we sound like broken records out here with every one of these freaking guys. Yeah, Skies is fantastic. He's been crushing it this year.
Yeah, he's definitely like their franchise player, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too.
That they want to build around.
Yeah, and he's been around for like a little. I mean, when did he play? BO4? Is that when he started? Or he kind of blew up? Or?
He played in BO3 too. Well, I don't think he wasn't old enough to play in BO3
because he's only 21.
Yeah.
Havoc being 23, I think.
Yeah, I knew Skies because he would stream with Courage, like BO3 S&D tournaments.
Yeah,
because he couldn't play in the league because you had to be 18 at that time.
Yep.
I knew him from BO4 because that's when he like blew up.
Yeah.
So
and like from reading about him, I mean, he was insane in BO3 S&D tournaments.
Yeah.
That was his big thing. Yeah, I mean it seems like most of his work was in World War II and BO4.
Mm-hmm.
But World War II, that game was a tough one.
Skip that game.
Yeah, skip that game. Yeah, so, Skies, he's a fantastic player. Definitely, I would imagine one of their franchise players that they're going to be trying to hold on to.
Mm-hmm. He's their main AR.
Yeah. And then talking about, Skies being a really good S&D player, the guy who has been piecing in search for the team is Awakening, or Joseph Conley.
Joseph Conley.
Yeah. Big Wake. They call him Big Joe, or they got a bunch of nicknames for him. Yeah, that guy. I mean, I haven't watched too much or kept up with his respawn ability, but in search, it seems like he's just been popping off for that team.
He was picked up in the MW, Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
For this team, and he's crazy good.
Yeah, it was right at the end, wasn't it? Or towards the later end of the year.
Yeah.
He was picked up by them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's only 20 years old.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure he's been playing scrims and stuff and S&D tournaments, but I can't imagine there's too much on him.
No, not really. I mean, some of these guys that he played with, he was with a team called Sixth Gear.
Yeah.
Play with guys like we've mentioned in previous podcasts, Paul X, another guy.
Up-and-comers.
Yeah, another guy we're going to mention named later on, Venom.
Yeah.
Fastballer, I know him. I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's been playing for a while.
Stamino, Gentroid, a lot of these guys. I mean, they're not super. They're not professional players at the moment. But Paul X is and Venom are. But these people, we definitely recognize some of these names looking at it. But yeah, he came in as an AM and he's been doing fantastic.
Yeah. So enough said about Big Wake.
Yeah.
He's Big Wake. He's good.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with our next guy too. It's kind of hard to talk about him.
Travis Neptune McLeod.
McLeod.
Neptune. I like how his name just fits the Florida Mutineers.
Yeah, right. Neptune.
He's
Poseidon on the team, bro.
Yeah. He started this year in the beginning of this season.
Yep.
And I mean, he's been playing really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys all have been playing good.
Yeah.
But he is one of the only rookies that I feel like is performing.
Yeah.
Compared, I mean, we're seeing people get benched left and right.
Yeah. Well, did Havoc start this year at all or no?
No.
Okay, because I'm looking it up and it's when did this start? The league? Do you remember what month it started?
January.
January. Yeah, it says January 22nd. He was moved to the starting roster.
He didn't play though.
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is.
He definitely did not play.
Yeah.
Because Slacked was. I mean, Havoc is. I think he was supposed to be the starter.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure
everything kind of fell through there.
Yeah, he just didn't want to play.
Yeah. But yeah, not really much on Neptune. He's 19.
Another amateur.
Yeah. And that's
first year.
Yeah. And he's been doing well.
Yeah.
We can't really we can't knock these guys or really say anything bad about them because they're pros. But it's good to know. Good to know some of these people. Yeah, there's not a lot on Neptune. And Florida, yeah, they took a chance on picking up Awakening and picking up Neptune as two AMs. And I remember when Awakening joined last year, they were crazy. They think they were the only team to win back-to-back majors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they won 3.
Yeah.
3 majors.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were insanely good. So, yeah, that team right now that we mentioned with Havoc, Awakening, Skies, and Neptune, we haven't seen these guys play yet. This just happened like within the past week or so that Havoc was put back on the team. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, if they're more consistent. You know, I don't really know. It's hard to say. Yeah. Dropping Slack was very controversial.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen them play yet, so we can't really say much on them. Yeah. But, I mean, there's a lot of room for growth with, like, the players on this team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Skies, with I'm sure being the vet, he's going to be the one, like, leading the team. Yeah. But, I mean, they're all good players. Yeah. A lot of room for growth. It's going to be, yeah. We can move on to the next team. Yeah. The Minnesota Rocker.
Or Roker. Or
Rocker.
I say Rocker. Yeah. I've heard people say Roker, and I'm like,
I hear General say Roker.
Yeah.
I think he said, because if you spell Rocker out, it has, like, those 2 dots at the top or something.
Oh, it's got the line through it.
Yeah. And that's, like, I don't know what language
that is. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Yeah, but I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it with the line through
Roker. Yeah.
Roker, yeah. It's Rocker.
Yeah, most people.
Gary V, can you confirm? This is his team.
Yeah, this is his team.
But we can talk about the first guy, accuracy, Lamar, Abidi, the Iceman, Ice in his veins.
He, what am I talking about him?
In the last episode, Mike and I were talking. Accuracy was a guy that clutched a 1v3 against our boys at Optic.
R.I.P.
They lined up. Yeah. Actually, it was a 1v4 because he killed all 4 of them.
Technically, he aced them.
But accuracy, this guy, he's been playing for a while.
Yeah, he's
been playing for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he dates back to, with teams like it's like Adversity. I don't really know if they're a pro team or not, or Excellence. I mean, some of these teams date back to 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
He's playing with. The main team that I can, do you know Orbit? Familiar with that team? Orbit Esport?
I've heard of the name.
Yeah, I don't really, but like Cloud9 I know.
Yeah.
Which was in 2016, so 5 years. Yeah.
He played for Splice too, right?
Yeah, he played for Splice during Black Ops 4, it looks like. And he played with like Evil Geniuses. Last year he played with the New York Subliners. He's played with, we're naming some of these teams. Maybe you don't know them. It's okay. Teams like E United, Team Caliber, Living the Dream, Complexity. These back in the CWL were those are top teams.
The MLG days.
Yeah.
Accuracy is insane. He's their main AR, and he holds it.
He lives up to the name for sure.
Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah, and again, we're saying with all these guys, he's been looking great this year too. This team has been very up and down, but it seems like they found their footing within the past major or second major. The first one, they were like Florida. They were super hot, and then they were super cold.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with accuracy as their, I would say their leader.
Yep, 100%.
Definitely their vet.
Yep.
He's commanding the troops.
Yeah.
There's a reason why everybody talks very highly of him in the pro scene.
Yeah. And I don't really know how he if he's a really hard leader or you know what I mean, how he actually handles the team. Yeah. I'm not too sure.
Seems like a really cool guy. Seems like if you teamed with him, I don't think he would be
like a hard ass and
like a gunless.
Yeah.
Where he really wants to win.
Yeah.
And he's gonna say whatever he wants.
Right.
But some people just don't respond well to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. See, accuracy seems like he's leading his guys pretty well.
Yeah. I mean they placed what? Third?
Yeah, third.
Third in the major 2. Not too bad considering where they were not too long ago.
Yeah. I mean the beginning of season 2 of the CDL, they didn't win a match, I think.
Yeah. I don't think they did either. Yeah,
and then they won the last 3. They beat Optic, they beat Dallas, and they beat Subliners. I think it was their last match.
No, because
Seattle.
I think they might have beat Seattle because Subliners lost to LA Thieves. No team we're talking about. They got knocked out by Ultra. Rocker did.
No, I'm talking about like the season 2, like the beginning, like the exhibition matches.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 0-1, and then they made the change.
Yeah,
which we can lead into that.
Yeah, but we could talk about their next player too, who's funny enough. He doesn't look like a veteran, but he's been playing for a grip. Dylan Attach Price. Attach. Shout out to Attach. You liked one of the tweets sent out by TheCODCasuals.
Yeah,
we appreciate you, Dill. I mean, yeah. What can't you say about Attach? You know, we're not just gassing him up because of that. I mean, Attach has been playing forever.
He's a world champ.
He is a world champ. Not many people can say that.
On Denial.
Yeah, you know, he runs the submachine gun. He's played for what? He's played for FaZe. Played for Rise, I think.
Yeah. I mainly know him for FaZe and Denial. Denial is just like a makeshift team, I feel like, at the end of the year for AW.
Yeah.
And they just won champs.
Yeah. I mean, most people know him as being part of that insane team on FaZe with him and was Attach, Enable, Zuma, and
Replays.
Yeah, and Replays. Yeah, I mean, he's a legend. I can't. What COD was it that he won world champs? It was 2015. What was
AW?
Yeah. Yeah, with a prize pool of $1 million.
Yeah, it was him, Clay, Replays, and who was their fourth? I can't remember their fourth.
I can't remember either. Do I have to do some digging here? I actually have no idea. Does it even tell me?
Who was their fourth?
Denial. JCap.
Yeah, Cap.
Yep. Replays, Attach, Clay, and JCap. Yeah. And then if you look at, it's funny, you look at the second team on there, none of those guys play anymore.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Even the guys who got third place, none of them play anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we gotta hop off of that. That's gonna make me sad. Yeah. Attach. That's what's great about Rocker right now. This team did a total revamp too, right, from last year.
Yep, they dropped their entire team last year.
Yeah,
so this is a whole new team.
Yeah, and they look a lot different, and they've picked up I don't know how they swindled this team, like how they pulled this together, because these guys are insane.
Yeah,
like such a
Gary Vee was like midnight. Take control.
Yeah,
buy out anyone you need to.
Get the God squads that you can get, and sure enough, he did. So yeah, Attach. I mean, he's insane. I mean, he's won All-Star Wars. I mean, he
has a bunch. Yeah.
There's really, you can't say more about him, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get to somebody that honestly I don't know as well. Like, he's been in the scene for a long time, but as Preston Priesta, it's Griner. I thought it was it's funny. They put out the CDL put a video out today.
Yeah.
And I saw he was one of the guys I was mentioning, and he mentioned he said his name, and I was like, oh, that's how you pronounce it, dude. Thank God.
Priesta.
Yeah.
This guy. I don't know too much about him. I know in BO4 he was an amazing flex player.
Yeah.
Like, he could run the Maddox, he could run the ICR, he could run the SOG. It didn't matter what you gave him.
Yep.
Like, he cooked. And I know FaZe picked him up after Replays or Crowder, as he goes by now.
Yep.
He retired, and then Priesta joined FaZe. And I know he was a competitive player, but I didn't know if he made like content on the side or anything, because that's how I knew him.
Yeah.
Because I remember his FaZe logo.
Yeah.
And like his like design or whatever for his YouTube channel.
Yep.
But in BO4, FaZe didn't make the CWL league.
Yeah.
Didn't qualify. So Priesta ended up being loaned over to 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he really got his big break.
100%.
Because everyone knew 100 Thieves, and then, you know, everyone started knowing all the players.
Because that 100 Thieves squad was him. It was Priesta, Kenny, Octane, Slasher, and
Enable.
Yeah, Enable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that team made like they did make one of the most insane loser bracket runs, but they fell short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won 2 championships that year too.
Yeah.
And they were terrible in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So Priest is kind of going through it right now. It's like almost 100 Thieves flashback, where his team was trash at the beginning of the year, and now they're looking pretty solid.
Yeah.
Not quite. I don't think they're there yet to the ability where they can really rival some of these top teams, but I mean it's hard to say if you catch him on a bad day.
I feel like he definitely. I mean, BO4, he was just crazy.
Yeah, so fast.
Yeah, this game, I thought he definitely could play better.
Yeah.
I think he's not in his final form yet.
Yeah.
Just got to, take a little bit, play a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
he is the flex player, which Justin had mentioned before. Whenever we say flex, that's somebody who can run, essentially it's somebody who can run a sub and run an AR.
Yeah. Whatever role.
Yeah, they can switch between roles. The flex, being flexible, instead of someone like an AR player, that's all they use.
Yeah.
They only use the AR.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, he's fantastic. He's been playing for a while. Played with Cloud9, FaZe, 100 Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Since his history goes back to 2015.
Yeah.
But it seems like when he was really in the pro scene, it looks like it was around 2017
when he got his big break with FaZe and definitely 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
When he got loaned over to them.
Yeah, he was with FaZe for just about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year he was on FaZe.
Yeah.
So he was, and they were runner-up at champs,
Yep.
But unfortunately went to 4v4, and he and Major Maniac, who's the other guy that we haven't mentioned yet, who's not part of this team anymore, RIP.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both got taken off that team, and they ended up, Priesta and Major Maniac went to Rocker.
Yeah.
So it was half of the runner-up team for COD champs.
Yeah,
So.
Major Maniac and Priesta were the two that didn't make the cut for FaZe.
Right.
And yeah, Major Maniac was in the starting lineup.
Yep.
But he got benched by a guy named Eli Standy Benz.
Fucking Standy. Fucking Standy.
Standy. He came in right, I think, the second game of Season 2.
Yep.
And Major Maniac got benched. Standy's top amateur, super fast sub player.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he joined, they won 3 in a row.
Yep.
They beat Optic, they beat Empire, and they beat Seattle.
Yeah. Rocker was definitely looking rough at the beginning of the year, like we've mentioned. And they made the decision to get rid of Major Maniac, who'd been playing for a while. And they brought in Standy, and it was just instantly that team. They did a complete 180.
Yeah.
And they've been looking like a top 4 team as of late.
He's such a fast player.
He's insane.
His engagements on the map, the amount of times he's killing people.
Yeah.
And just putting pressure on the other team it's wild.
Yeah. I don't know anything about him. I'd heard the name very, very little. You know. It was mainly just this year. When they were talking, because everyone now, if you have a bad series, are like, oh, gotta change the team. And people were chirping his name, saying, Standy, gotta get Standy. And Zuma was a huge proponent of bringing Standy.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the hype is real. He's insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all these amateurs coming in they're for the most part really helping each team.
Yeah. They're starving.
Yeah, they're ready to play.
Yeah.
No, we definitely should do an episode about the format too.
Yeah.
Because I think a big reason why all these teams are making changes so fast is because they only have a month to play.
Yeah.
Five games and then the major. If you lose just 2 of those games and they're just random days, then everyone in chat's gonna be like, you need to make a change now. Because those points, that's 50 points right there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely should and we will. But just generally people know, these guys, they used to play all day, all the time. Now it's they really don't play that much. So if you have a bad game, that's a problem. You can't really make it up. I mean, you can obviously, but it's worth a lot.
Yeah, before the CDL happened, games would literally start Friday to Sunday. It was only a 3-day event, and they would play from 12 o'clock all the way till 10 or 11, depending on the series.
Yep.
Yeah, you would literally be playing all day. And COD is definitely a day-to-day game.
Yep.
You can sign on and just feel like you're not going to play good.
Yep.
And these guys, that's a lot of pressure. They just have one game.
And you got to heat up, too.
Yeah. Shooting bots and scrimming is completely different than actually just playing a league match.
Yeah.
So
and last point I'm making on it, too, talking about the major that just happened, Major 2. That's a big argument for people, which you can go on both sides of the fence on how you think about it. But I mean, I don't deny at all that with Toronto Ultra, a big part of why they were doing really well is because they were playing back to back to back.
Yeah.
Like they played a series and they won. Then they went like right into another series. Like they're constantly playing.
Yeah.
And when you're in that mode, and it takes a little bit sometimes to get into it, man, you level up,
Yeah. But I mean, that's another.
That's for another day.
Yeah, another day.
But so then we move on from the Rocker. Great team. And they're funny enough mentioning Ultra in a battle with the Ultra. But
the battle of the North.
Battle of the North, what they call
I don't know why it's like Ultra and
Minnesota
though.
Yeah, I don't really know either, but
I don't know who started that rivalry.
Who knows? Maybe it's just a fabricated one. But we'll be looking out for Rocker. I have high hopes for them. I think right now they're 7th in the standings, but I think they'll rise a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
But then we move on to a team that's we talk about a turnaround. Oh my God, this team.
They made a turnaround in the major.
Yeah.
Let's hope they actually turn it around in
Let's
actual
hope.
matches.
Let's hope. It's the Los Angeles Thieves.
Yep.
Are part of 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves.
Yeah,
Nate's gonna correct you.
Yeah, exactly. 100 Thieves, not 100 Thieves. Yeah. Right now, currently sitting 6th. I mean, man, this team. They've gone through a real roller coaster, haven't they, this season, man?
Yeah. We can start out. Kenneth Williams. He originally played for 100 Thieves back in BO4, but we're not going to go into this whole discussion where he played for Optic LA. Yeah, and LA Thieves got the spot.
Yeah.
He's on LA Thieves now.
Yeah, he's on LA Thieves.
And Kenny is another player that he's an insane flex player.
Yep.
Maybe not on this roster specifically, just because he's definitely the leader of the team. I see in your notes he was formerly called Quavo in MW. His gamer tag would be what is it? Kenny Quavo.
Yeah,
I don't know why he changed it to Quavo. I don't know.
That was during last season during MW when he was on Optic Gaming Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And he was known as Quavo. And it was so strange because he's been competing for, some time. People know him. Was on Team Caliber, and like you said earlier, he was on 100 Thieves as Kenny, and then all of a sudden it's like Quavo, and people are like, what?
Yeah.
So
he would play as Kenny Quavo, but everyone called him Kenny.
Yeah. So he changed his name back.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that whole thing. Change his name back.
Kenny, his name really popped off in World War II.
Yep.
He was part of that God Squad, TK team. And I remember when Thieves, they signed him and Pharaoh, R.I.P.
Yep, R.I.P.
I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
They just signed, an insane team.
Yep.
They're going to go off.
Yeah.
But Kenny, definitely, he's a really good flex player. But, right now it looks like he's running the AR.
Right. Yeah, and he's been trying to be really aggressive with the AR. And it seemed like from, which we'll end after we introduce everybody on the team, that's kind of been fitting him at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Kenny's he's no slouch. He's insane. It's just been really tough with this team at the beginning, seeing them just play horrible. And they had a really good run at the second major, so we're hoping. But let me go back here. Yeah, because of the next guy that we could talk about, who arguably was the turnaround machine, who led this, which is Zach Draza Jordan, or Hazard backwards. They always got to throw that fun fact in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this guy, he's hilarious because he's come into two teams when they're struggling and they're on the floor, and he somehow brings them to the glory.
Last year in MW, he subbed in for OG LA, Optic, when they're just playing awful.
Yeah.
And him and this other guy, Hollow, completely turned the team around.
Yep.
And Draza specifically was going off. And then going into this year for Cold War, he was signed with 100 or LA Thieves, but he was on the bench. And I was like, all right, well, this guy definitely deserves a shot.
Yeah.
But he finally got it. He replaced a guy that everyone would argue is should not be benched. Austin Slasher Litico.
Beast.
Yeah.
World champ.
Yeah. Slasher's insane, but I guess, they just didn't mesh well.
I really
His
think
team did not mesh well.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. He's very methodical and slow, and looking from the outside, I don't think his team's like that. His team just wants to, play free.
Yeah. And that's what they did in the major, too, and it did really well. Now, can they sustain that? And is that going to keep them success? Who knows? We'll have to find out in the third major coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's been fantastic. Again being on the bench and then comes in and there's
turns the team around.
I think it was 2 days of practice they had.
Yeah.
And insane run.
Those guys were smiling and playing.
Yeah.
At the major. Before, these guys were not smiling. They looked miserable.
Yeah.
In their comms, they had no energy. Nothing.
Yeah. So and they seemed like they were really just like screw it. That's like the vibe that we got from it is when they were going into that they were like, yo, we're like people expect nothing of us. Like if we win one map, people will be like, oh wow, that's a dub.
Yeah.
So
just fly.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? Let's just play. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a new player that came in. And then we can skip the guy that we have listed after. Another new player that had come in is Venom or Carlos Hernandez. He went and replaced Temp, or what do I have his name here as Donovan Larota. So again, if you're kind of seeing the picture, this team they've gone through a couple changes.
Yeah.
Trying to obviously get better. And yeah, Venom's been doing pretty damn solid. He was a top AM. He played for the only AM team like we all know as like Westar.
Yeah.
They run the show.
Yeah, he played with Draza in the amateur scene, so they know each other.
Yep, which is huge.
Yeah, chemistry's there.
Yeah, because when he came on, I don't think he knew anybody, right?
Draza?
No, Venom.
Yeah, no, he didn't know anyone there until, Draza came, then definitely helped out, I'm sure.
So, yeah, Venom, I mean, he's been popping off. Like, during this major, he went off and did really well.
Just let him fly.
Yeah, because all the clips that they showed of him, he was always ripping around with a sub. He was just going like, just ego challenging like a psycho.
Yeah, just let him play.
Yeah, and then when he went on the team when Slasher was there, like he wasn't really.
He was not doing that.
He wasn't doing it all that much. But obviously, like we're saying, just let him roll, let him go, and he's been doing it. And he's looking great.
So some COD players like Slasher, he doesn't want to play like that. I get why. He wants to play slower, methodical, but a lot of these young guys, they definitely don't play like that.
Yeah.
Another guy that needs to fly is TJ Halley. Thomas Halley.
Yeah.
Tej is another sub player. Yep. And when Tej is on fire like this, he is destroying everyone.
Yeah.
If you watch back in the Black Ops 4 days, he played for Optic. And TJ, I would say, like, he's a very hot and cold player.
I would agree.
But I would say at least this year he's been more hot than cold.
Yes.
And he's another player you need to let fly. He's very fast, extremely fast.
Yeah.
But I think this team can make a run in Season 3.
I think so, too. I mean, they shocked everybody with how far they got in this major, too. Most people thought they were, like, including myself. I still haven't looked at my bracket. Oh, my God. It's probably, like, it's a nightmare. Yeah. I had them losing right off the rip.
Yeah.
Like, they were just going to get knocked out. And then they won that game. Then they won another one. And then they won another one. I was like, what? Like,
yeah.
I think eventually they got shot down by, I think,
Ultra.
Yeah, Ultra shut them down.
They lost to the champs.
Yeah. So not bad at all. But yeah, I mean, Tej, he's no slouch, and he's definitely been playing for a while. It's funny, these guys they're like 21 years old, 22 years old, and you're like, yeah, they're like vets. You know, like Tej has been playing for a long time.
Rise too.
Yeah, he played with Rise. That's where I remember him getting started. You know, and then obviously his big break being with Optic during Black Ops 4, with that squad.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA Thieves going into this year, because I think a lot of it is because of Nate Shot, the owner of 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hype behind this team, and the expectation.
This is a championship team. Like the team that they're building, they will not take like second or third.
Yeah.
That's not good enough. They need a win.
Yeah.
And I think they know that. That's why they're not afraid to make these like changes.
Yeah.
Their head coach JCap, we mentioned him like before. He world champion, won in AW. I mean, he's a multiple.
I was gonna say,
champion.
I think he is a 2-time champ.
Yeah.
It might be 3. I can't remember.
He's a coach for LA Thieves, and he's definitely not afraid to make a change because I mean they're there to win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's what was cool about this team is because when they started, like they looked really good, and then they weren't like regarding the actual players that they had on there. Mm-hmm. Then they went through their first change. They didn't look that good. Then they went through their second change, and that looks to have been what it was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on the sidelines are like, "You're gonna keep changing. You're gonna keep doing, you know, like they're just gonna swap out the whole roster." Mm-hmm. Well, they found their footing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like they have to again. They only have a month before each major to prepare. That's not a lot of time.
It's not. That's really not.
Like, and it's only 5 matches too. If you think about it, like us viewers, we're only seeing 5 actual matches of them playing. So I don't know. People judge them off of just 5 games, but it's kind of hard to when we're not seeing them constantly play all the time.
Yeah, of course. But they got nice sweatshirts too.
Their original team, like if you look at it, was Kenny, Slasher, Temp, and TJ.
Yeah.
On paper, that team should not lose.
Yeah, and that's what everyone was just like mind boggled by. They couldn't believe this team was. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I felt like they were bottom of the barrel. Like they were one of.
Yeah.
Like they were like above, I think, Paris and.
Yeah.
And
I mean, stat wise, they're not performing the way that they should have.
Yeah, definitely not to what people expect them to.
Yeah, and that just shows like the chemistry of the players. Like it really matters.
Yeah.
Like they have to like each other, you know. They have to be happy, good vibes when they're playing.
You need that stuff,
and like that just also shows games. Like every single year, like there's a new COD. Doesn't mean you're gonna be as good.
Yep.
On the next COD.
Exactly. So that's why Draws has been so interesting because at the end of last year, he fried and brought that team back, and then same thing with this COD. He's been looking insane in the challenger scene, and he came in and he's frying, and he's, you know, I mean, it only makes sense. Like you can see that guy came in and boom, that team instantly does better.
This is 2-time.
Yeah, the 2-time.
2-time.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think he should have started like over Venom right away.
Yep, I agree. But
Venom fit Temp's role.
Yep.
Like so, I mean, I get it. But Draza was on the bench.
Yep,
like,
he was.
He should have just been subbed in right away.
I agree. But thankfully it worked out where Draza did get a shot, and he's been piecing. So yeah, we have high hopes for Los Angeles Thieves. I really like all those guys, and we're huge fans of 100 Thieves, the organization. You want them to do well, you know.
Yeah.
Those guys are not, you know, like they're not a bunch of rookies. I mean, like well, like Venom kind of is, you know. Like in the pro scene.
Yeah. He's on a championship team, though.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so we want to see those guys competing at the top and just more good competition.
Yeah.
And then
save the best for last.
Yeah. Could you figure out which team it was for us?
The green wall, brick by brick. Your team, Optic Chicago.
Yeah. I think we're fans of this team.
Yeah.
We're definitely Optic Dick Riders.
Optic.
We're just fans. We like them.
Back in the OG days.
Yeah.
Before they were even good.
Yeah. Right.
They would barely place third.
Yeah. Right. So people stop giving them shit. You know, if they're not doing that good. I mean, what's to say about this team? You know, you talk about expectations from Thieves. I think Optic has it worse than anybody.
Yeah.
You know.
They get the most hate.
Yeah.
They get the most love.
Yeah, exactly. They get the good and the bad. And we can start with their first player, Dashy, or Brandon O'Tell, the Canadian on the team.
Yeah. Definitely the best player in Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
Out of all the players.
Yep.
Like Dashy. This guy is definitely a really good flex. At least in BO4, he was a really good flex.
Yeah.
Seems like in this COD, he's definitely the second AR.
Of course.
Super fast. His birthday was.
Isn't it today?
His birthday's today.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Big Bruce.
Yeah. I think he's 22 now.
Yeah, 22
so
now.
That's cool. Yeah, and the thing I remember about Dashy from BO4 in particular, and even in World War II where he got his big break, is he's a nasty sniper.
Yeah.
He's so good at sniping. He's like trick shotting on kids and quick scoping and stuff. But
he played with Sensor.
Doug
on Complexity.
Yep. Doug definitely brought him in. So big ups to Sensor. So like, I mean, he's been doing pretty damn good this year. I mean, the last Major 2, he was awesome.
Yeah.
They fell short obviously because of the most unbelievable thing that happened. We've talked about that 1,000 times, and you can look it up.
Yeah. They'll play it every single
until
commercial.
We're 100 years old. But yeah, he's been doing great. I think there was when they did the meta change with like the QBZ, there were sometimes he's having a hard time. But
yeah. Mentioned too, Dashy. He was on the original Optic Gaming LA team.
Yep.
Back when it was the MW season.
Mm-hmm.
And he was benched. Actually, Slasher was on that Optic team. And a lot of people are saying Dashy was benched because he didn't want to try.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really get along with Slasher all that much, and ended up getting benched. And then he came over to Optic after it switched to 4v4, and before they were called Huntsman.
Yeah,
the Huntsman
rebranded.
Arcides was traded to a different team. He went to FaZe.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dashy ended up coming back to where he belonged, in Optic.
Yeah.
And it all worked out.
Yeah. I mean that whole thing is like, it was ridiculous the amount of changes that went on there behind the scenes. Hex, but or the guy who owns Optic, if you don't know, Hector Rodriguez, just goes by Hex. One of the COD fathers.
Yeah.
He started Optic and ended up regaining the brand. So they're known as Optic Chicago, even though they all live in Texas right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dashy, he's just fantastic. I wish we could see him sniping, but snipers are banned, so it's tough.
Yeah.
But then we move on to the young gun, right?
The Prince.
The Prince. Dylan, Envoy, Hannan.
Yep.
I remember him from BO4 in the Gen G squad.
Yeah, he made his big break there.
With guys like Major Maniac, I think we mentioned him before, and guys like Havoc, I think they were part of that squad.
He played with Major Maniac, Havoc. He originally got his big break was BO4 definitely, but he played on the Midnight team. And Midnight was a random scrap team that, for some reason, was really good.
Yeah.
And they were taking down all the top teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then that team ended up breaking up, and he went to Gen G.
Yeah.
But Envoy's a super fast sub player. Definitely a really smart player.
Yeah.
Based on his S&D calls.
Yep.
And how he just plays the game. I would say it's definitely the shot caller in the S&D. I would say him and Dashy are the two guys giving out all the plays. Yeah,
probably. I mean, whenever you see videos of them, it's definitely Envoy leading it most of the time.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have the other two players being the veterans. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, they're not they're the leaders.
Yeah.
But they're not really the shot callers when it comes to some of that stuff. So.
I mean, Envoy and Dashy both came from the S&D scene. A lot of these top amateurs came from the S&D scene.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of insight to give.
Yeah. And that just means these guys, they play these tournaments where they're just playing search and destroy.
Yeah, that's all they play.
Yeah, that's all they play. Mm-hmm. So when these guys come in, they obviously factor that in, being like, hey, these guys are really good at search and destroy, a really important game mode and competitive. They can offer a lot to the team.
Yeah, and definitely the game mode you want to win too, because if you can win S&Ds, you can win tournaments.
Yeah, of course.
It closes out.
Of course.
The series.
So yeah, I mean, Envoy, man, he's got to be annoying as hell to play. He's he's lightning fast.
Yeah, I would hate playing.
Yeah. We haven't gotten the privilege to play him in pubs or anything.
It must be so annoying playing against him because the routes that he runs are crazy around the map.
Yeah.
The second guy, I don't think he needs an introduction, but the king, Scumpy, Seth Scump Abner.
Yeah.
Man, Scump's been playing for a long
I think 50 years.
Yeah. I don't think he's had an actual job. His job has been competitive Call of Duty. I think he's been playing since he was 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah. It's crazy now. He's one of the older players. He's 25.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you look at the teams that he's played for, it's very surprising. Like, he hasn't played for a lot of teams.
He's very loyal, minus the break.
Yeah. I mean, he's played with, a couple teams prior, but, I mean, he's played with, starting in 2014, he played with Optic until the Huntsman thing happened, which was basically Optic. Everyone felt that was Optic.
Mm-hmm.
He played there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He went to Envy for 13 days.
When he had that beef with Nate Shot.
But he basically played with Optic, and if you tally it up at that point, like before Huntsman, it was like 7 years.
Yeah.
He played with them.
Basically his entire career.
Yeah. I remember seeing him back in like BO2, when they were, scrumming it out, and he was a kid, and he was a demon.
Yeah.
He was like
back when they were losing.
Yeah. I mean, man, Scump he's a world champ.
Mm-hmm.
He's a X Game gold medalist.
Yeah, huge YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He fries in pubs.
Yeah.
He's definitely a pub stomper.
Yeah. I mean, he's really he's one of the faces of the CDL.
Yeah. Easily.
I mean, that's a blessing and a curse for him too.
And definitely like Optics franchise player.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like that can't even be argued.
Yeah.
Like he's not leaving the team unless he wants to, and I don't even think Hex would let him leave the team if he even tried.
Yeah, something crazy would have to happen for him to leave that team.
Yeah.
He's been playing, like, he's 25. Again, it's so funny. We think like he's a vet. He's been playing forever, and he's not that old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scump. This game he's been looking freaking nice.
He's heating up now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really heating up now. I think at the beginning of the year, and like as most of these guys, or some of them at least, it's not a big deal if they're slow at the beginning of the year.
Just got to learn the game.
Yeah. Yeah, Scump's that guy that he can be a real game changer. And the other guy too that we'll mention at the end is the same thing. Any of these guys on this team, and particularly him too, they can just pop off in a series and they can change it around.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean he's a submachine gun player. I mean, what else really is there to talk about with him?
Yeah,
there's too much to talk about him with.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode on Scump.
Yeah, you could do a whole thing about him. I remember him in BO2, but I do remember him talking about like MW3 being one of his favorite CODs, which big ups on that because we're in that boat too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's been playing since he was a kid, and there's a reason he's still signed. I mean, that's all he's ever done is be a pro player. He's a legend. And then the other legend too that we'll wrap up the boys with is Matthew Formal Piper.
The pipe.
Yeah, I mean
T2P.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, T2P is the duo of Seth and Matt, or Scump and Formal. Both been playing together for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Formal is one of those we mentioned in some of the other episodes with players who come from. I think it was what's his name on Dallas Empire, Shotzi,
came from Halo.
Yeah, being Halo. Yeah, I mean that's what Formal. I mean he's. Way back in the day, I think he was a Halo World Champ, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Same thing with him in Crim 6 or C6 on Dallas.
Mm-hmm. And Scump and Formal, those guys were. I mean, if you watched back in the Optic Dynasty days, back in what was it, AW?
Yeah.
It was Scump, Formal, Crim 6, and a retired player, Karma.
Yeah.
These guys ran that game.
Yeah.
They were winning things left and right.
Oh yeah.
Formal, he's the main AR for this team. Formal is disgusting.
Oh,
he's definitely, I would say, a top in this game, like a top 5 AR. But in like a lot of the other CODs, you definitely could argue him as like top 3.
Yep.
Like easily.
Yeah, he was insane, especially in the jetpack era of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
He was nuts.
Yeah.
When we mean jetpack era, I mean just those games where you're flying around, like Infinite Warfare was one of them, Advanced Warfare,
Black Ops
3. I think that was it. It's just those 3 games.
Isn't that crazy? That was the era. Yeah. And people are like,
it's only 3 games.
They act like it's
it was like 8, 10 games.
Yeah.
It's just only a couple games.
Yeah. I was a fan of the jetpacks.
I love them. I love the jetpack games. I wish we would go back. I wish we would go back. Yeah.
Keep up.
Yeah, I know, right? I love the movement, the jetpack games. But and Formal did he was a psycho.
Yeah.
Another player too who hasn't played with a lot of teams. He's really been pretty loyal to Optic.
Mm-hmm. I think Optic's been very loyal to him.
Exactly.
Minus the BO4 when he left and joined Luminosity.
Yeah, he played
Gaming.
for them. Yep.
And then they beat Optic, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And he won a championship in BO4.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and he's the same thing. Like we're saying with all these guys, he's been looking great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's definitely got his moments too where he's been kind of cold, and then there's those other moments where he's literally
hot. He doesn't miss.
You cannot touch him.
Yeah.
And he just pops off in a series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like Seth and Formal have been doing that a lot. They've had those games where they can turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we've been saying this a lot about these, like all these teams. Like at the end of the day, they all can compete for first.
Yeah,
I think like all these players. There's a reason why there's only 12 teams in the league, and all these guys are starting.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's hard, like with some of the lower teams like Paris and Gorillas and Royal Ravens. It's hard. It's really hard to see them getting up there.
Yeah, win consistently
in their current state.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of these. I mean, really, any of these teams. If they're just frying on all cylinders, it's hard to really see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, we always have this idea when, like, you know, we watch the games and all the other professionals and analysts being like, oh yeah, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and then the game happens and the exact opposite happens. You know.
Yeah.
Like from our predictions and professionals' predictions. From this last major, it like shows that we don't know a lot. You know?
Yeah, it shows that they don't know a lot either.
Yeah,
like at this point, like this late into the game, it's minor mistakes that are going to cost like teams.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree with like the Gorillas, Ravens, like Paris, those guys. Like they'll be like towards the bottom of the 12 teams.
Yep.
But those guys can definitely take series off of these top guys.
Yeah, they can.
They're just not going to be winning like consistently.
Yep.
I just can't see them winning consistently against these top teams, but like any team can beat any team in this league.
Yeah,
so.
I couldn't agree more. And yeah, this Optic team right now, I mean, they've been looking pretty good.
They always just lose at the worst time. Again, they're losing because of like minor errors.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these other teams.
Yep.
You make the slightest mistake, and any team can take advantage of it.
Yeah. And right now, yeah, like they're third, you know, but they're behind Dallas and FaZe. Yeah, they should have done a lot better in this major too. But again, it was because of that play we mentioned earlier with Minnesota Rocker accuracy.
The Iceman.
It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it like I didn't watch it live, and we were texting during it, and you were telling me like you thought it was over. Like you were like texting me live, being like, "Oh, like it's over." Like, and then I watched it back when I got home that night, and I was like, how does this happen?
Yeah.
Because you see it went down to like a 3v1 or something like that. And you're like, for
It's
anybody,
over.
when that happens in professional Call of Duty, I mean, even just in regular pubs games, if it's a 3v1, or in that case, or like anything like that, the equivalent would be like a 5v2 or 3, you know, anything like that. The numbers are so stacked against the other team. You're like, nah, there's no way it's over. You know, you're basically celebrating at that point, and they did not celebrate. It just it was crazy.
But Optic, they have a roster where they can go very far. I mean, they're in third place right now, but I think it's New York. They're like right on their tail.
Yeah,
they're like right behind them. So it's not like they have a secured third spot.
Yeah,
I think the only team right now you can say that has a secured spot is FaZe.
Yeah,
which and they're in first.
Yep,
they have they're pretty far ahead. Than the competition.
Yep.
So. I mean, I saw a stat. Someone was saying that they could lose every single match in every major now and still qualify for playoffs.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is insane.
So
they can play like absolute hamsters.
They could just forfeit every game.
Yeah, they could put the controller down and they would still play. So
yeah,
it's nuts. But yeah, we hope, you know, since obviously we're big Optic Chicago fans.
Brick by brick.
Yeah, you know,
we're a brick.
Yeah, you know, and with all these teams, I'm sure if you've been paying attention to these 3 episodes that we've done covering all the teams. It's like there's no team that like we don't have any beef with any of these teams or like talk talk bad about any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, we know just like being, casual pub players, stuff happens. Like you do really hot and then you're really cold. And it's just all the pressure these guys are on, and they're playing against the best in the world. Man, that's bound to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't be out here roasting these guys and saying they're trash and need to get rid of guys.
Don't be a coach.
Yeah,
you're not a coach.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't know anywhere near what those guys know, what the coaches know, all that stuff. We're just fans and we want them to do well. And when they don't do well, it sucks. But
you support them still.
But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What can I do? What can I say?
The only players that can talk shit about each other or say anything are the players.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the ones playing.
Yeah.
We're not playing.
Yeah.
We're just the viewers.
Exactly.
You got to support them whether they're down in the dumps or they're on a high.
Yeah.
So.
But that's those are the 4 teams, and then that wraps out.
That's all 12 teams.
That's all 12 teams. So if we do go back from them, right? We have Seattle Surge, right? Again, all these teams. We all hope the best. Our thoughts and prayers with all these teams, right? Seattle Surge, Paris Legion, Toronto Ultra, GG's, the champs. Yep. Atlanta FaZe, absolute God Squad. LAG or Los Angeles Guerrillas. We hope they pull it together. London Royal Ravens, same thing. They actually. Note about them, just like today made a roster change. I can't remember who they brought in. I can't remember what his name is. I will look this up on the spot as I'm doing this. I hope I don't hear any clicking on my computer. London Royal Ravens. Who did they bring in? What's the guy's name? Zapatus. Right? Zaptus or Zaptius. Yeah. Zaptus? Yeah. He's replacing. Well, he's gonna be playing with Shawnee, Paul X, and Zed. So they got rid of Dylan.
That's crazy to me.
Yep.
But
so there's another crazy shakeup there.
Yeah.
London Royal Ravens. We hope they do well. And then what other teams we got here? Dallas Empire, New York Subliners, and then the 4 teams that we just mentioned: Florida Mutineers, Minnesota Rocker, Los Angeles Thieves, and then the boys.
Optic Chicago.
Yeah, So.
Yeah. I hope this 3-part series helped out any listeners just to learn about the teams and maybe pick your favorite team.
Yeah.
Because we're all we're the fans of CDL in general, but we support Optic. They're our main guys.
Yep.
But we don't shit on any team. These guys are all great players, great teams.
Yeah.
But loyal Optic fans.
I know about them. Never heard of them, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Any of these guys, whenever they have bad games, particularly Optic, because we mentioned before, just the pressure on the team because of who they are.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It drives me up a wall.
Seeing the feed when Optic loses, they're like, you should have done this. You should have done that. I'm like,
I hate it.
All right, you coach. All right.
Oh, man, it drives me up a wall. It's crazy.
You know better than Dashy, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's very infuriating,
Yeah. Speaking of, this is completely off topic. Dude, Dashy completely he got a lot of people, but he tweeted out, Brandon is following you.
Oh, yeah?
And he tweeted that out. And
I saw that. Yeah.
And I got a notification on my phone. I was like, no fucking way. And then, I clicked on it, and everybody in his Twitter feed was like, you got me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple people doing that. I didn't really get what it was. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
I saw, I know that's a trend, but the other ones didn't catch me. But this one caught me.
Yeah. Wow.
But still love them.
What a good joke. One day, right? Absolutely.
Dashy.
Yeah. If he's listening, shout out, boy.
Yeah.
But going back what we were saying with all these teams, we wishing the best about all of them, and we hope if you ever need to go back to the other episodes where we mentioned the 4 teams, and to get refreshed on them. Throughout the season, we are for sure going to be updating you on these teams as we just did today, because the way it's looking, these teams are changing quick.
Yeah, very fast.
If I really had to say, and you can agree or disagree, I think the teams for sure that will not change will be Optic Chicago, Dallas Empire, Atlanta FaZe, and probably Rocker and Thieves. I would say those are 5 teams there that probably will not change. 3 of those, Chicago, FaZe, and Dallas, 100%.
Yeah, those are. I would definitely say those are secured. They are not changing.
Thieves and Rocker, though, I would say it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And the other teams, it's a free for all.
Yeah. I hope this 3-part series help everyone get to know the teams better and the players, especially new people coming in and watching the CDL. Because I mean, we listed off a lot of players. It's a lot.
It helps us too, man.
Yeah.
We again COD Casuals.
Yeah.
We know of these guys, but even still, digging into their backgrounds and we don't know everything about these guys.
I mean, we're not here to pour out stats for them and
No.
stuff. That's tactical Rab.
Yeah.
Shout out Rab.
Yeah. Leave it to those guys who
Yeah.
they want to go in was a breaking point. They break down all stats and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really interested in that, crunching numbers and all that. But yeah, I mean that's just there's a lot of guys, and most of them. It's hard to find some information unless they're seasoned vets like Scump, Formal, any of these guys who've been playing for a really long time. But yeah, they're all top teams, and that's what makes this CDL so damn fun to watch.
Yeah,
is it's not like there's one team that just no one's ever beating.
Yeah,
we felt like that at first with FaZe, and then
they lost.
Yeah. So it's great. We're going to be in for a great major 3, seeing how all these teams stack up against one another, especially some of these roster moves. There's a new patch that they're going to be playing on.
Yep. So yeah, best of luck to the 12 teams.
Yeah, best of luck to all those boys.
The OG boys will always be here.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Brick by brick.
When they play, I get nervous.
Yeah.
I'm over here, I'm like, come on.
They'll bounce back.
A lot
of these teams will bounce back. Yeah. But Optic for sure will.
Yeah. But is there anything else that you wanted to talk about other than we talked about the update, so we're excited for that update as public players, and then the teams. Anything else you want to talk
about? No, I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, we
got all 12 teams. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Absolutely.
yada yada.
Yep. On
Leave
Twitter.
a like, comment, review.
Yep. Let us know what you think about this. And yeah, man, I'm pumped. 10 episodes.
10 episodes.
We've done it. This is the last episode.
No.
No.
We'll continue this.
Absolutely. We'll see you in episode 11.
Yeah. This is super fun for us.
Oh, I love it.
So.
We love it. And we hope you love it too. So we can't thank you enough for if you've made it this far, tune in to episode 10. We greatly appreciate any feedback you guys give us, and hopefully you've been learning something along the way. And we'll wrap it up there. So we follow us anywhere you can. We're on everything. We've mentioned it before. COD Casuals at all the platforms. And we'll wrap it. I'm Mike.
I'm Justin.
And can't thank you guys all enough. We'll see you next episode. All right, take it easy.
Peace.